I hate it. I really do. It's horrible and it ruins everything. If it was a person, I would demand that it publicly apologize for being what it is. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not a rules or mechanics kind of guy. I focus on the narrative and the story that we're all creating together. I rely on my rules lawyer to keep me in line and make sure that I'm actually running Dungeons & Dragons and not Steve's No Rules story game, featuring math rocks. Look, when a new D&D book comes out, I don't go to the appendix and look through all the cool new spells. I'm pretty ambivalent about spells and their mechanics. Put a list of spells in front of me and I'm just kind of meh. So when I say that there's a spell that I hate, that I think should be stricken from the rules and its original page taken to a dark and nameless place deep within the forest, buried in a black pit and left to rot, I need you to believe me. It's the worst. Remove Curse can go f itself. No, seriously, Find Traps and True Strike have nothing on this absolute waste of ink and paper. Curses are an amazing storytelling tool. Literature has featured curses since the very beginning. Whole movies are structured around curses and trying to either lift them or survive them. And what would any of that be if a character could wave their hands, say abracadabra and remove the curse? Why, we wouldn't have any of that. Thankfully, Van Richten's guide came out and said its piece on curses, making them much more dramatic and giving a framework of how they can affect a character and be removed. Now, there's a new book coming out from a third-party publisher that takes it a step further and helps you build an entire character concept and form their progression around a curse. That book is Sinclair's Almanac, one of 2 books coming out from the team over at No Nat Ones. What I'm talking about here is the cursed archetypes that it contains. Whenever a character contracts a curse, either in their backstory or during your game, they gain one of these archetypes, like the Curse of Lycanthropy or the Curse of Corruption. But these curses aren't binary. It's not like you're a werewolf or you're not a werewolf. There's this fantastic progression that your character has to go on in order to become fully afflicted or fully cured. Once contracted, the curse evolves as the character levels up. If the curse begins to take over, they gain cursed feats, which give both a gift and a stain. This is a good thing that the character can use as an action and a bad thing that balances it out. Will they fight this curse or embrace their fate and give into its dark power? Or will they risk everything to perform a delicate balancing act? Whatever they do, it's going to be a hell of a ride. This is the type of curse mechanic that any fantasy game needs, especially the ones that I like to run that deal with the dark and the macabre. Curses can and should be these weighty, character-affecting things that have dramatic and widespread consequences. Imagine if you started turning into a werewolf or you started spreading some corrupting disease wherever you went. Your life would change drastically. Alright, maybe not in the case of a corrupting disease, but still. There'd certainly be no waving of hands, no abracadabra, and no remove curse. Now these cursed archetypes are just one small piece of a much larger supplement, which is only one half of the Sinclair's library book set from No Nat Ones. Sinclair's Almanac is the player-centric book of Sinclair's library. In it, we're going to find over 120 new player options, a new class and ancestry, new magic items, new companions, variant rules, and the cursed archetypes I just mentioned. There's also teamwork feats, which give your players new ways to work together, reflecting the amazing bonds that their characters form with each other. On the other side of Sinclair's library, we've got Sinclair's Codex, a big book of NPCs that GMs can put into their games. This book has over 150 new NPCs, each with their own custom illustrations, backstories, stat blocks, and plot hooks. There's civilians, heroes, villains, and organizations. I've even heard tell of a special Nemesis NPC, big bad mofos that serve as the primary antagonist for your campaigns. Suffice to say, this is a set of books that I'm excited to get my hands on, if only just for the cursed archetypes. But luckily, neither you nor I need to wait until they come out. I've got an exclusive teaser for you. Down in the description of this video, you'll find a link to download the basic rules for cursed archetypes and a sample of the lycanthropy curse that you can drop right into your game today. So go ahead and check that out. The Kickstarter for Sinclair's library is coming soon. If you like the idea of complex, character-driving curses, then you should absolutely, positively click on the link down in the description. Come join me in helping them make their dream a reality and make our games even better.